I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Wow. I was able to get that stuff down my throat. Welcome. I'm sure that we're going to have late stragglers pouring in because people are still on their way home. And number one, people don't speed like I do. I'm a speed demon. A speed demon, let me tell you. For those of you that know where I live and you know where City Hall is, I got home in 4 minutes. So do the math. Welcome, everybody. All four of you that are here. This is the Political Spotlight. I am feeling better. Today was the first day that I was like, yeah, okay, the fog lifted. The fog that I've had for like the last week. Let me tell you, that was the worst damn part about it. Was the fog and the, I don't want to do anything. I feel like I can't do anything. I don't want to get out of bed. That was horrible. It's been bad. It's energy suckers. And I'm telling you, that's what they said. They say it's COVID. When it's like that, it's COVID. But I didn't test and I don't, whatever. So it is what it is. Enjoy my COVID. No, I don't think it was. I wouldn't have went in public if I thought it was. Or would I? So we just got out of the Muncie City Council meeting. Now I'm starting to have some drainage, a little bit of drainage. I didn't have a choice with the grandbabies here. I have to get out of bed. Yeah, well, yeah. When does that end? How many more weeks of that are you in? Are you still just like 5 more weeks? Holy crap. Wait a minute. Wasn't it 6 weeks to start out with? Or was it 9 weeks?
So it was supposed to be a month. But he dropped them off a week before he actually left.
Okay.
To go anywhere. And then they'll be here another week after he gets back.
Why is all of that?
Because that's when he can get the flights to come and
be able to get, I get it.
So they're here, they will leave on October the 11th.
We're not even to a month from that yet.
I don't want to fucking talk about it, Chris.
Oh my God.
I'm getting too old for this shit, man. I am not used to 2 and 3
Yeah,
year olds.
it's like at one of these. It's like the grandkids for like a weekend is cool, or the grandkids for like an afternoon is cool, but like the grandkids for 9 weeks is a bit much.
It is a bit much. It's a challenge, and then you throw being sick on top of that,
Yeah.
and not being able to lay down to sleep.
What's been wrong with you?
Head cold.
Okay.
Just, couldn't breathe.
Brandon
And
says
was
we got the
coughing all the
cooties.
time.
I don't know who he's talking about. I guess he's you. I mean, I think he meant yous, meaning you and me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, people be like, I'm like, well, Kate and I are both sick. And people's like, how are you both sick? You're not even in the same house. I'm like, it just so happened to be that she's sick. But
it's very weird.
You are a sick person. Me too. I don't mean I've got no room to speak. But like, I mean, I
have not had the best luck the last couple of years. I seem to be.
You and I both have this like.
I'm not.
What?
I seem to be sick as often as I'm not.
Yeah, that is true. Now, a lot of it is just like it's strange that you and I both seem to have like a lot of drainage issues. I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah, I have allergy problems.
Okay. Yeah.
South Carolina is terrible. Pines are awful.
Oh, yes.
The New York ironweed is starting to pop, and that always nails me every year.
Yeah. Well.
So I said,
You seem like you're a little better. But yeah. And I told everybody you'd be hit and miss. I think last night or the night before I said, obviously we're in spooky month. And so you got the other stuff with the other job. And, I said that you got the kids. And so shit's a little sideways with you this month and next, but we'll get through it.
Spooky month light this month. Spooky month light.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Right. Why? Because every time I talk to a beautiful woman, my wife appears. Yeah. That is not even a joke. That's just a true statement. Joe Black. Thank you for the comedy. So we are here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are on the mend, thank God. For a minute, every time I said that, I was like, I'm not really. I don't know why I keep saying it, but I really do feel like I feel like I am better today than I have ever been, like in the last 4 or 5 days of saying it. Yes, we are diseased. Let the bodies hit the floor. So whatever Stumblefoot was saying, get up, get down with the sickness. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, a couple of big things happened today. We're going to talk about the Muncie City Council meeting here in just a moment. But before we get there, I feel like it's probably most important that I bring up what happened earlier in the day. And I'm so happy. I almost can't contain myself. After nearly 2 decades, definitely after the last 8 years, the Delaware County government finally figured out a way to bring the idiots on one side together with the idiots on the other side, and the Republicans and the Democrats came together, and after a glorious session of reach-arounds, they figured out a way to allow Delaware County government, specifically the election portion, they decided to finally figure out a way to get their heads out of their asses and we now have vote centers in Delaware County. A big round of applause. Woo! So this happened today during a Delaware County election board meeting. It was fantastic. Election board votes to bring vote centers to Delaware County in a 3-0 vote, because that's what it needed to be. It couldn't have been a majority. It had to be a total 3-0 vote. So in a 3-0 vote, the election board, made up of County Clerk Rick Spangler, Republican Peter Drum, and Democrat Daniel Gibson, they voted to use 26 vote centers as opposed to polling sites in 44 precincts. Although the old system required voters to cast ballots in their home precincts, any person now registered in Delaware County can vote anywhere in Delaware County. And for all of you people that have lived in Delaware County forever and you've never experienced this, I actually experienced vote centers in Randolph County, and I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, right, Joe? A Delaware County Election Board has finally adopted a plan to use vote centers when conducting the county's elections in a 3-0 decision of the board. They voted on this Monday, September 8th. They did this morning. You can see it. It's live streamed. The meeting is very quick. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. Although the old system required voters to cast ballots in their home precincts, you will still have a home precinct. However, now anyone that's registered in Delaware County can vote at any of the vote centers in Delaware County. It makes it so much easier. The new system, which must be approved by the election officials, and it will be approved by the election officials at the state, will be first used in the primary election set for May of 2026. So next year's elections. This was a big deal. It was a big deal for Rick Spangler, too. This is something that Rick has been pushing since he's been clerk, and he just could not get it there. The Republicans and the Democrats would do their things, and stupid stuff would happen, and so we finally have this. And so just basically what this means is, if you live in Albany and you normally have to pull out of your driveway and turn north to go to your polling site to vote, but you work in Muncie, you don't have to no longer will you have to go out of your way. You can drive to Muncie and you can just hit a polling site, a voting center along the way and vote there. You just give them your ID, give them your name, and it's bam. It's very easy. Now, the one thing I do caution people about is this means you really need to know your ballot well before going in, because, you know, there could be the situation where someone could go in and they could, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're going to say, no, there's no way possible. But know who's on your ballot when you go in. That way there's no confusion. You go in, you vote, and it makes it so easy. So I'm excited about this. There's a lot of people that are weird, or, you know, they're like, oh, this is going to cause more fraud. And I'm like, I don't really know how this creates more fraud. We need to be cutting down on any fraud. We need to be making sure that we have secure elections and fighting for that, obviously. But I think vote centers is something that it's no big deal compared to voting in precincts. It's not. I don't see how it increases fraud. I don't believe that it does. So we'll see what goes on there. I'm happy. I'm happy for it. I think that it will help people vote, and it will give people less excuse not to vote. So that's something that people need to be aware of. Also, while we're talking about this, I will just tell you just briefly, you can register to vote right now by going to the link that's on the bottom of the screen right now. You can go to www.indianavoters.com. That's indianavoters.com, indianavoters with an S.com, indianavoters.com. It takes 3 minutes or less with your driver's license. Check your address, check and make sure everything's up to date. If you've changed your name, if you've gotten married, if you've gotten divorced, if you've been adopted, if you've been anally probed by UFOs and your name has changed for some reason, change it. I like the idea of being able to vote in the county, help cut down on fraud. Only, yeah, absolutely. That's the way to do it. Only vote twice. So that's the real big news, the shiny, happy news from this morning. I want to give a shout out to both the Republicans and the Democrats for coming together and being able to pull this off. It seemed so hard. They were having such a hard time with this, and I'm so glad that cooler heads were able to prevail and they were able to do something that made sense. I also want to give a big shout out to Rick. A big congratulations. This is something that Rick's been pushing on, and I know that we're coming towards the end of his time in office, so I'm glad he was able to get this done. And I, for one, am happy about it. So there you go. All right. So enough of that. Now we're going to get on to the Muncie City Council meeting. And I got to tell you, so tonight was the biggie. The biggie on the meeting. It's so weird. These meetings where I'm like, there's nothing that's going to be of any major fight. A couple really strange things happened in this meeting, and we're not going to go through the entire meeting like minute by minute, because if you want to see that, all you've got to do is go to the my YouTube page, the Political Spotlight, and you can see it under the live on location Muncie City Council public hearing and meeting 9/8/25. It's there. And you can watch the whole thing if you want. It's very easy to see it. It's all there, and you can watch it. I would say that it's a meeting that if you did not watch, you should watch, because a couple very important things happened in the meeting. So I would highly recommend people watching it if you didn't. But we're not going to watch the whole thing, because I just lived it and I can't do it again. But we are going to highlight a couple of very important points. So we'll do it like this. We'll pull this up here. And we'll go here. Okay, so first up, they had a public hearing. That's what happens here. It's crazy to me how we're so far along and there's so much confusion in what these people should be doing. It's shocking.
You might want to remember.
Yes. Ordinance 30-25, an ordinance for appropriations and tax rates, proposed 2026 Muncie civil budget.
Let's hear what old Rick Gensler has to say. Knew Rick was going to get up and speak.
Is there a motion? Okay, just open it up for discussion. Anyone here to speak on ordinance 30-25? Any council members?
We're not allowed.
Public.
Now, as you'll notice at this public hearing, we've got Counselor Green, Counselor Basham, Counselor Powell, Counselor Mack, Counselor damn it. Why am I drawing a blank? Harold Mason, Counselor Mason, Counselor Gullion, and Counselor Selvey. And then down here, out of view, is Counselor Jerry Dishman. But we will see that there is an empty seat right here, and this empty seat is for Brandon Garrett. Now, I was like, is he not going to be here tonight? But he did get there. Okay, so we'll just go through this.
Okay, moving on to the,
Oh, yeah, there's public here. I don't know why they don't want to speak. Rick Yenser, newsman and author. When you consider this budget tonight, you might want to remember that you've got more income tax money than you had last year. That means that'll wipe out whatever property tax relief took away from you. So as I see it, I'm not really concerned with what you're spending. I'm just concerned about not raising taxes. We've had a terrific property tax increase just because of assessed values going up over the last 5 years. Many people pay more than 25% more just on their homes, their businesses, their farms. And frankly, they blame government regardless of what you spend or what you do. There is a couple of little items that I want you to remember when you're considering the budget, even though this probably has to do more with the administration than does the council. Back a few months ago, you approved a committee to determine recommendations for opioid settlement money. Now, that committee hadn't met yet, and I would hope that you would get that committee jump-started because there's a lot of need for people that have drug and alcohol
has
problems.
Not met yet. Keep that in mind.
That money needs to be distributed now because you didn't take too much time giving it for public safety raises. And the second thing on edit, I see something tonight that I haven't seen since they built City Hall here or the jail out there, that the administration wants to use a building corporation.
A building corporation.
Frankly, I think the hospital and the university need to come up to the gate on that project because we've been indebted enough. And edit should still be used to bring business and industry to this community. It confounds me that government uses to operate government and build public buildings when it needs to be spent on jobs and business and industry. Those are just a few of the things I can think of right now, but hopefully you're not going to raise our taxes.
thank you, Mr. Yenser.
Love it. Now, Brandon got here, as you can
Hi,
see.
my name is Sarah Vitale, and my comments are mine and do not reflect the views of my employer. But I wanted to express a little concern about a couple of things. One, that it's my understanding that the budget that the administration sent in by the deadline was pretty bare bones. And in fact, not what we have before us now. And the rest was submitted as amendments at a much later date. And I think that
To clarify, it wasn't at a much later date. It was just the next day. So it's not like a much later date. We're not even far enough out for it to be a much later date. It would just even be a couple of days, even if they did it today. But the point of the matter is that it wasn't done on the timeline, and it's never done on the timeline. And I will remind everybody that Mayor Dan Ridenour, when he was Councilor Dan Ridenour, ran on the promise of preparing the budget and getting it to the council in July, which would give everybody at least a full 2 months before the council process. And I just want to be sure everyone knows that in the 6 years he's been in office, he has yet to do that one time. He's always got it to the council on the very last possible minute. So sometimes even later than he's allowed. So keep that in mind.
is unreasonable.
And it
for the
is unreasonable.
administration to do to the city council.
It is
And I
unreasonable.
know that there's a history in the city of receiving negative audits from the State Board of Accounts.
That's
And
true.
so I hope that when you approve the budget put forth by the administration, that the administration complies with the budget that they've created. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else to speak on ordinance 30-25?
Okay, so that's it. The next one they bring up is 3125, which
Yes, Rick Answer again, newsman and author of Muncie. I've been up here countless times to talk about public transportation. Sometimes
this
I
is the
use it,
myths.
and it looks like it needs to go under a major overhaul because outside of transporting kids from public schools or others, there doesn't seem to be much ridership. And as I've said before, they need to test express or some kind of ridership.
Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see, but does everybody see this person right here? This person right here on the corner. I don't know if you can tell who that is by his really weird ass woman-like arm and his really tight shirt, but that's Greg Martz from GM Development, the guy that's doing the Muncie Fire Department thing. Now, you've been sick of it. Are you aware, Kate, that have you been here when we've talked about the fact that they want to do a second fire station? Or have you not heard that? You've not heard that. You do know it or you do not know it? Okay, you do know it. So that resolution is on this agenda. So we're going to talk about that here in a minute. I also want to say that Greg Martz is right now in some, not hot water. Well, yeah, it is hot water. He's in the process of the people of Henry County. He's dealing with people of Henry County, and Henry County citizens are looking at him and they're like, do we trust him? Do we not trust him? Because he's dealing with them in reference to the data centers. And I don't know if Eric is here, Admiral Eric, or not, but Martz is very involved with that whole data center thing down there. So that's that. So okay, here we go.
On Sundays, kind of like Bloomington and Lafayette do. When this was founded 40 years ago, and I remember that they needed a tax base besides the national company that runs this North American Transit. They haven't changed the system at all. I think something needs to be done to change the system, make it more accommodating to the people. Besides, have some kind of Sunday service, because again, $10 million. And who was it I talked to? Somebody out there that said they're like everybody else, they're having problems with getting bus drivers and other hired staff. There needs to be some changes because there's a lot of people that don't have rides, can't find a way to go. And what was it, the other thing they did lately? Oh, I know. They used to run till 9. Now they run at 6. They barely run at all. But it's up to you to decide how much you want to spend on a public transportation system that's kind of fading. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so then we go into the in-between period
Great
there.
honor and privilege.
And
to
now
come
we're
before
into
thy
the
throne this
actual
evening.
meeting.
Thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for the
Okay.
elected officials that
going
are here
to-
to represent the city of Muncie. We ask, Lord, that you would
We're
guide
going to
and
jump
direct.
forward here.
I'm going to see attendance. Councilman Green. From residential to retail.
All right, so this is the first thing that's
In
very
July,
interesting.
or was it June? Anyway, they were concerned about the youth center being rebuilt from the R4 resident zone to the BC community business zone that are Friday.
No,
budget
all right, so here's where we want. Here's where we want. Okay. Number one, this is very interesting, and I think that this is going to continue getting brought up, but I want you to listen to what happens here.
if he would be willing to continue to support that youth center. And he stated yes. So I'm pleased in that. Thank you, Mayor.
So I heard at Friday's Finance Committee meeting when Counselor McIntosh asked Ridenauer about this. And there were a couple looks on the council and people kind of whispering, under their breath, whatever. And I was interested in why he brought that up at the moment. And then he brought it up tonight too. And so I've asked a couple of my contacts why this was brought up. And I was told that people on the council have heard that Ridenauer had basically stated that he was going to do one or the other. He was going to allot money towards the youth center, $500,000, or he was going to take that and give that to his for raises among his administration. And that's the reason that they're making the point to continue putting Ridenauer on the spot, saying, so you're still committed to giving the $500,000 to the youth center. You're still committed to, because he keeps saying it. And then he wanted to make sure that it was again on the record tonight. So I don't know what's going on with that. Just thought it's interesting that he's done this. And this is what I'm hearing from my contacts close to city council. So that's very interesting. So we'll see what continues to happen out of that. Now, we get ready to go into the first ordinance. The first ordinance discussed tonight was Ordinance 2625, which was an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R4 Residence Zone to the BC Community Business Zone on premises located 1600 North Wheeling Avenue. Okay, so we'll go into that.
Any other committee reports?
This is pretty quick. Wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
New ordinances. Ordinance 26-25.
Ordinance 26-25, being an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R4 residence zone.
No, Carrie,
to
the Ross Center is a place that's already built and already there. That's more on in like the Shedtown area. And they're talking about building a youth center in like the Whiteley industrial neighborhood area. So it'll be on a different side of the city.
Community Business Zone on premises located at 1600 North Wheeling Avenue, Muncie, Indiana.
Okay, ordinance number 26-25. This ordinance seeks to rezone property located at 1600 North Wheeling Avenue from R4 residence zone to BC Community.
I don't know why he just read it after the reading
allow for
secretary read it.
change in use from residential to retail.
Mr. President, I make a motion to introduce ordinance 26-25.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilperson Powell, seconded by Councilperson Selby. All in favor? Any discussion?
I don't understand why
Any
they
discussion from anyone?
have a hard time understanding what goes every time.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is there a representative from?
Residence zone to the BC.
Okay, now here this is the big one. I want you to listen to what happens here. I want you to listen to what happens here. This is Ordinance 2725, being an ordinance to amend the City of Muncie's Comprehensive Zoning Ordinance from the R5 Residential Zone to the BC Central Business Zone on premises located at 718 North Walnut Street. This is the area right in front of Central High School, connected to where they're building the townhomes. So this is like the crew or true construction people. And I want you to listen to what's being said here. I want you to listen to this. I had left the meeting and went outside for a moment and came back in. I was trying to get back in because I wanted to speak, but I figured I would say what I wanted to say tonight during the show. I want you to listen to this.
Central Business Zone on premises located at 718 North Walnut Street, Muncie, Indiana.
Okay, this ordinance seeks to rezone property located at 718 North Walnut Street.
Why is he doing this?
The
We don't need to read it
R5
twice.
zone, the CB Central Business Zone, to match the zoning of adjacent properties and allow for replatting after townhomes are constructed. It did receive a favorable vote from the Plan Commission.
Yep.
Is there anyone here to speak on this?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we adopt 2725.
Second. Oh, introduce, yeah, introduce.
Introduce.
Okay, motion's been made by Councilman Basham.
Sorry, I was blocking
and
them.
Yeah.
seconded by Councilman Selby.
No, no.
Gillen.
Gulliver.
Okay, sir.
Jonathan Chambliss, I'm co-owner of Crew Properties, Crew Construction. We're the owner developer on the site there. Well, I just didn't know if you had any questions about it. I've got other documentation. I'm not sure what they gave you, but they also asked me if I could, they told me I could ask if you guys could suspend the rules and vote on that tonight, just to expedite the refi process. Doesn't matter. I mean, we'd prefer that, but.
I have a comment.
Okay.
I mean,
Listen, so this is like not a big deal. What's happening here? Whatever, rezone it, don't rezone it, whatever. But he's like, yeah, we want to get this. And this is just for introduction, which means the council should vote on this. They should vote if they're going to introduce it or not. Then they go away and then they come back next meeting, and that allows citizens more time to talk about it or be there if they want to or whatever. So he says this, and Rose Selby immediately, like, almost cuts him off from talking to then say this.
really like what you're doing on Walnut Street. I support this project too, and changing, especially with the support of the Delaware-Muncie Metropolitan Plan Commission. I like the fact that you're helping expand the property tax base on that street, and you're providing new housing near downtown. And I like that the McKinley president and the neighborhood association support you 100%. So with that, I would like to suspend the rules tonight, ask the council to suspend the rules to move this.
So she is now asking, he asked, but now she's asking for the suspension of the rules, but nobody stated why. Why? Why are we suspending the rules for this? Why are we trying to push this shit through?
Project forward at full speed.
Yeah, I can answer questions. All right.
Mr. President.
Real quick, we'll need to introduce that. And then we'll move the system to consider it for adoption. If that is unanimous, then.
So to be clear, we need to vote on the introduction first. Okay. Good.
All right.
Okay, you made that motion?
It's in
No,
the
we
thing.
have-
Yeah, we've already
Yeah,
voted.
yeah.
But
And then I will redo the motion.
But I may ask questions before that, correct?
Right.
Correct, okay, may I?
Yes.
And so what do you plan for that property right there then?
We are currently building townhomes.
It's just
So
the same property that you're already
Yeah.
building on?
It's just the very north lot.
Yeah.
The
It's just,
rezone that happened a couple years ago just ended there with the R5 CP district.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
When you get these built, I wish you guys would consider that if you have any violence or any shootings or anything, they will be kicked out of
Oh, sure.
your
Yeah,
apartment, because we just had a shooting at these new ones down there on.
Now, okay. What, Jerry? What are we talking about here, bro? So, maybe he's got more information than I've got. And people would be like, well, he's a city councilor. I'm sure he does. No, it's Jerry Dishman. He does not have more information than Kristopher Bilbrey has. I promise you that. All right? He's asleep at the wheel, city councilor. He doesn't know where he's at, city councilor. He definitely does not have more information about what's going on in these shootings than I have. And I don't have much. But from my understanding, the people that were living in the apartments were victims. Jerry's like, I want to kick out people. If there's any shootings, we kick them out. Kick them out. So if someone burgles your house and shoots you, and you live and you got a hole through your spleen and through your eyeball, but you're alive, you're homeless now. We're going to kick you out. He's talking to the builders of the house, bro. If I go in here and buy this house, if these people get done with this townhouse and I go up there and I buy it, and God forbid somebody comes in that I got to shoot, or someone comes in and, God forbid, shoots me, Jerry Dishman, and this guy's like, we're going to kick you out. We're going to kick you out. Screw you. It's my house. I bought it. You're not doing anything. You can't do that. There's nothing that you can do that can say that. Now, yeah, I guess if it's a rental situation and the city's in charge of it, the city shouldn't be in the landlord business, but Dan Ridenauer loves that kind of stuff. So if it's something the city's connecting with and it's an apartments, whatever, and somebody's like doing bad stuff, and as a result of that bad stuff, violence happens, yeah, I can see kicking that person out or whatever if they have that ability. But I don't understand what he's getting at here. But I want you to hear what's heard right here next. I want you to listen to this. Jerry's talking to him about something that he's got nothing. Jerry should know this was a dumb statement to make because this guy doesn't have any control over what he's talking about. Okay? This is just like, well, we had a couple shootings last weekend, so I better quickly make a reaction. This is a snap reaction to something that's happened just to make it look like we're doing something. But really, it's not doing a damn thing. It's not solving any issues or whatever. So, but I want you to listen to what's said here.
And I hope they do the same thing.
I don't know how they operate down there. Ours will be owner occupied.
Yeah.
It'll be market rate.
I don't know how they operate down there. Ours will be owner occupied. So, Mr. Crew, are you telling me that the only people that can be criminals or be victims of criminals are renters? You can't be someone killing people if you own your own home. You can't go crazy and kill your wife and kids and feed them to the alligators if you own your own home. We've never had any murderer anywhere in the world that's owned their home that's been an owner occupier, whatever. That's insane. First off, okay, listen to what he says next.
Homes. We're hoping we can get, like college professors there, all state teachers. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of.
We're hoping to have the upper crust, the Ball State professors, teachers, doctors, the like. We're not going to have any of those smelly. We're not going to have any of those smelly, dirty Muncie people. None of those shed towners. None of those black people. None of the dirty people of Muncie. None of those people. We're going to have the upper crust because God knows none of those people are ever freaks or ever shoot and kill anybody or ever do anything crazy. None of them are drug addicts. None of them are drunks. None of them have guns that kill people and do a bunch of craziness. What are these people saying? I couldn't believe that this guy stood here and said that. And look, I'm not like, I'm just like, Jesus, this is insane to me. Whatever.
Demographic, I guess, to get in that area. But
what? He said demographic, dude. We're going to have a different demographic in the area.
I'd like to see zero tolerance for any type of violence.
And that didn't cause anybody to like shake their head or whatever.
Yeah, sure. But they will be owner occupied, so.
Yep.
Mr. President, shouldn't we vote first and then have discussion?
There's still questions on the actual introduction.
Yeah.
Then
Ask those questions first and then.
Okay, I understood that we voted first and then had discussion, but that's fine.
Yeah, just like a typical introduction.
Okay.
You can take public comment before.
Dude, no one on the council knows what the hell's going on. Not one person.
I wonder why it's so important to suspend the rules. He didn't give a reason. So I've said this before.
Here comes my hero. I didn't even know this dude was there. But I was like, as soon as I heard them saying, I was like, man, if he's there, I know he's going to stand up. Because anytime they ask to suspend the rules, it does not matter what it is. He always stands up and he's like, nope, what's the reasoning? If there's not a good reason, let's not do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I agree with him 100%. Thank God he was there. Yeah, why didn't the zoning questions get answered before starting construction? That makes sense, Charlize. That you know, there's some questions here that would make sense to have asked before all of this stuff started. But Dan was in such a hurry to jam this through that we didn't have time to answer questions. But listen to this.
If it's not detrimental, if we don't have to, don't suspend the rules. I mean, just do it the way it's supposed to be done.
Let's just do it the way it's supposed to be done. Not jam it through.
We don't really have a reason to suspend the rules other than just to expedite the.
So then the guy just stood up and said, we don't have a reason to suspend the rules other than to just you know, expedite it. Well, that's what we don't want to do. We want to slow government down. Dan ran on that.
That process just help us move along faster.
Yeah.
Mr. President, I have a question. Who was it that asked or that told you that you
The
could?
plat committee, I don't remember.
Did they?
exactly.
I mean, I know that. Mr.
That
Dishman
doesn't make
responsive to
sense.
this,
I
did
don't
they have
think
to
that they're. I don't
encourage
think
you to
that
reach
they
out
would be
to
like.
him so that he could.
I've talked,
to the-
I mean, we've talked in passing about the project.
That's
but
right,
not
to the point.
specifically about the
Okay.
rezone and replat.
All right.
Mr. President,
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question or two, if I may. You have an introduction tonight to bring in another section that is there to the north side. What's your long-term plan? Are you going to go through that section of the neighborhood, or is this where you intend to stop?
Well, the parcel we're asking for the rezone is currently part of the construction project.
Okay.
We just have to get that rezone so we can replat.
Stephen,
Man. It'll be a multi-zone
I
plat.
forget his last name,
So they can't do
Stephen.
that.
He ran
But
for
we do have
city
plans.
council.
We would like to do more development.
Charlize, what's his name?
Yeah,
You know
if
him.
We suspend and adopt tonight. Would this allow you to get the footers in the ground before?
We're under construction. Like, we're setting trusses right now.
Okay, but for this next lot, would you be able to
Oh,
do
no,
that?
no. This lot that we're asking for is currently under construction.
It's under construction
Yeah,
now.
no,
Okay.
Part of the development.
Steve Craig.
Thank you.
That's right.
Thank you.
How many
Steve Craig.
units are?
7 units total. All roughly the same size, 2-bed or 3-bed.
Aaron, his name's Steve Craig.
About 1,800 square feet. Each one has a 2-car detached garage that is alley entrance. So we don't
All
have
right, let's get to the vote. Come on.
The design, I don't know if you guys have seen anything, but there's a sign out there. It shows a picture of what they'll look like. But our goal is to try to kind of match the architecture of the neighborhood, tie that in, keep it consistent throughout.
Oh, that comes up here in just a second
Hope to
too.
do more.
And I gotta say,
that's
we're
townhomes or
changing some minds, and we're doing some good. And I'm so excited. Stephen Craig is not with. I mean, I'm sure he's got a job, but he's just a citizen.
Yeah.
I just want to make a comment. I always weigh in what the, Metropolitan Planning Commission, they're the experts. They know detail,
All
you
right.
know, proximity wise.
We have a letter. I don't know.
We've received the letters.
I second.
Okay, motion's made by Councilman.
Okay, so what they're going to actually vote on now, because they've already introduced it. So now they're going to vote on whether or not they're going to suspend the rules, and it has to be a unanimous vote. All right?
Selby, seconded by Councilman Green.
I'll do a roll call on that. That's unanimous.
Garrett,
Yes.
Fishman,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
Green,
Yes.
Powell,
I'm sorry, but no.
Okay. 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 Yeah, I was just talking about you earlier, Admiral Eric, about Greg Martz and the data center stuff down in your neck of the woods, or where I guess you're back in Winchester, but you're still following what's happening in Knightstown. So whatever's going on there. But yeah, I was just talking about that. Greg Martz, dude. He's at this meeting tonight. So let's go back and listen to what happened here. So
I'll do a roll call on that. That's
they're going to do a roll call.
Garrett,
Yes.
Garrett voted yes, because he's a Republican now.
Yes.
Dishman voted yes, because he's a Republican now.
Selby,
Yes.
Selby voted yes, because she's a Republican.
Yes.
Powell,
Green voted yes, because he's a Republican. And then they get to Nora Powell. Now, so that's 4 yeses that they've got to. And now we're to Nora. And Nora says no.
I'm sorry, but no.
Okay. So that's 5 votes. So there are still 4. That's 4 for yes, 1 for no. But since it's 1 no, it kills it. But there's still 4 other people that needs to vote. Basham, Mason, McIntosh, and Gullion. Okay, those 4. Gullion, Mason, McIntosh, and Basham. But they end the vote right here. They vote it. They listen.
Sure.
Okay.
It's been introduced and be up for adoption next month.
Introduced. Sure. Up for adoption next month.
Is there a reason why we can't, Counselor, get everybody's?
And Rose Selvey, just Rose credit, Rose says, isn't there a reason why we can't go through with the rest of the vote and get the rest of the votes and put it on the record? I would like to have heard the other 4 people's votes. It might make a difference in an election. It might make a difference at some point. That needs to happen, but they didn't. You don't just say, you know, you're not voting for something. It's not just, okay, we got a passing vote, we stop. You always say that would be like voting on something. We're going to vote to pass the ordinance on the proposed budget 3025, and we're voting. And the first 5 people says yes. It's like, okay, well, we're done. We don't need to hear what the other people say. Bullshit. You go ahead, go straight down the line and hear what everybody else was going to say. That's nuts. So Roe was right. Roe, you did right on this one. And shame on everybody on the rest of the council. That's stupid. These people are mindless. Yeah, that's exactly right, Shirley's.
Vote on it. I understand it's a bit, I would like to hear everybody's vote on this.
There's no.
Wouldn't the public like to too?
It's already, it's got to be a unanimous decision. If it's not
I know.
unanimous, there's no point. Hey,
Yeah, but was any of the rest of you going to vote yes, or were you voting no too?
Ordinance 28-25, an
That's
ordinance
right,
of the
Jeff.
city of Muncie amending the traffic schedules set forth in chapter 80 on the city of Muncie Code of Ordinance.
Okay.
Mr. President,
Which one?
motion, I'm sorry, what?
Now, what's funny is they do this very next ordinance, and it's to slow down the speed in a neighborhood, and well, let me show you here real quick.
Make a motion that we introduce ordinance 28.
They're going to introduce it,
Second that.
okay?
okay, motion
And then I want
made.
you to listen to this.
Thank you. I think it's
All right,
also-
so she went through and she was telling why we've got kids in the neighborhood. Everybody agrees, lower this down. It needs to be lowered down, whatever. Go ahead, do it. Listen to this.
Important to note that the city engineer's been notified of this request and consents to the reduction.
Yes.
Motion made and seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye by saying aye, all opposed, saying?
Mr. President,
Yes, sir.
I would like to do something probably a little
Now, Counselor Jeff Green asks to do something now that they've introduced it.
unprecedented, but for public safety, especially the children, we ran into this a few years ago down on the south side of town, and we circumnavigated some of those that didn't want this to happen. We reduced the speed limit in the school zones. We put up radar detection signs for the safety of the children. And I don't think this thing should wait another 30 days. I think this is something we need to push through for the safety of the children. They're walking to school. The hours that they're walking now is going to be darker, both morning and evening time. And
It's
I
going to
think
get
for their
darker
safety,
in the next 30 days,
we would be
obviously.
remiss if we didn't do something about this. And I think we ought to do it tonight. And I'd
So
like
the
to-
very next thing he says, yeah, it's very unprecedented. We only asked to do it once or twice a meeting, but I will tell you, this is something that I agree with, and it makes sense to me, in my opinion. And there was a reason why, unlike the last time, there was a clear, explained reason: the safety of the children. Okay, this is a situation that doesn't harm anybody in any way. It doesn't affect anybody. I mean, I can't think of. I would be interested if someone could give me a reason or something that would be a negative to this. So it's like, yeah, all right. And you hear Steve Craig doesn't get up and say anything, because I was talking to him on the way out, and he was like, I didn't say anything about that one because that one made sense. It's like, damn, it's really crazy. It's really crazy how much common sense plays into these things. And if you just use some of it, the stuff really works its way out pretty easily. And that's exactly right, to the point. You're exactly
amend
correct.
that to push it through tonight.
So they vote on it and they push it through.
Seconded by Councilperson Garrett. All in favor? Roll call.
Garrett,
Yes.
Fishman,
Yes.
Gullion,
Yes.
Howell,
Yes.
Selby,
Yes.
McIntosh,
Yes,
Green.
you have an ordinance amending chapter 80, traffic schedules.
Okay, this
of
is the
Mun-
last thing before we go in. We're almost done here, folks. Bear with me.
Muncie Code of Ordinance, University Avenue Park.
Now, I thought this would be wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. I thought that this would be, I really thought that we'd be here for 45 minutes tonight, and then this thing blows up and goes crazy.
Okay, this ordinance seeks to remove the current restricted parking on University Avenue between Dick Street and North Street, and prohibit parking at any time on both sides of University Avenue.
Mr. President, I move to introduce this for the sake of discussion.
Second.
Okay, let me finish reading this first. Dick Street and Reserve Street and the south side of University Avenue between Wheeling Avenue and Reserve Street. What was your motion?
To introduce it for the sake of discussion.
Set a second. Okay, motion made by Councilman Selby, seconded by Councilman Green.
Jackie, you're right. I'll be honest. It really blows me away. He's actually worse than Dishman. I'm shocked. I thought Dishman. I didn't think that anybody could be worse than Dishman. I like Mason as a person. I really like Mason. I've known him for a very long time. He was a supervisor down in 911 dispatch when I was a police officer, and I've always gotten along with him. He's a very good dude. I like him, but he is not doing the council or the public justice as the president. And it goes to show that these people have such an ego or a lack of understanding of what they're really here to be doing. I feel like if I was Harold and I was stumbling as frequently as he is, I would be like, look, I'm gonna relinquish the seat and give it to someone. I'm gonna be the best damn counselor I can be, and I'm gonna let somebody else deal with this nonsense. That would earn him a whole lot of respect in my book, but instead we're gonna. Oh, I guess the good thing. Here's the deal. Or sit up there with a cheat sheet. All you got to do is put it on a piece of paper. That's what I've not figured out. That's what they did for Dishman. Put up a cheat sheet of what you do, what you read, it's not hard. He's got a whole desk he could hide it by, I guess one of the things we have is we've only got 3 more meetings with him. October, November, December, and then it's done. He's done. So, I assume at that point, who was president last time? Dishman. I assume we're getting ready to get into the presidency of the Powell presidency. I would assume that's getting ready to start coming. Now, I think that Brandon Garrett thinks that he's going to be president next. And whatever. I don't know. You can't do any worse than the last 2.
All in favor? Oh, the discussion? Any discussion on this? Anyone here to discuss this?
I want you to listen to this. Yeah, Stumblefoot. This is very important.
Good evening. My name is Beth Messner. I am the treasurer of the Riverside Normal City Neighborhood Association. I'm also a resident of this particular neighborhood since 1991, so a longtime resident. The neighborhood association vehemently opposes this particular ordinance. In particular, we have great concern with the elimination of parking on University Avenue. We have a number of reasons for that particular stance. First and foremost, we're not sure what's motivating this particular ordinance. The ordinance itself simply asks or indicates that this is a necessary measure. We don't know why it's a necessary measure. We're not aware of any studies that
doesn't say what
this measure is necessary. We assume it may be something to do with a bike lane project that was originally proposed by the university to go down Riverside Avenue. We have been, or down University Avenue. We have been in consultation with Flatland Resources, who's working on that particular project since 2023. We've held neighborhood meetings. We have canvassed our neighborhood. We have surveyed the residents, the homeowners, property owners on University Avenue. Our neighborhood is vehemently opposed to this project, assuming that this is related to the bike lane project. We don't know that. We have no understanding of the motivation. A couple of our big concerns. First of all, with the redevelopment of the village right now, parking, more parking is going to become even more necessary. We've been assured by the university that there will be sufficient parking available for the new businesses, the patrons of those businesses. We are still unconvinced that that is indeed the case, which means the elimination of parking on University Avenue makes absolutely no sense given the amount of traffic that will now be directed toward the new developments in the University Village. We also are facing our own internal struggles with parking already. In 2023, the parking on University Avenue was restricted to 2-hour parking, again, without consultation with our neighborhood association, which has forced a lot of the parking from the folks who live in those rentals into the alleys. And we've already seen demolition of garages of historic structures as a result of the restriction to 2-hour parking. Eliminating parking will only make this worse. This is a historic neighborhood, one that is already struggling to retain its character because we are at a kind of a saturation point right now in terms of rentals. We're seeing landlords move 5, 6 tenants into properties that originally had 2 bedrooms. Each of those tenants comes with a car. If you've seen what has happened to the alleys on either side of Neely Avenue when parking was restricted on that particular street to put in the boulevard, you understand our concern about what is going to happen to our alleys. They will be turned into barren moonscapes as a result of that. And our efforts to maintain the aesthetic character of our neighborhood is going to be severely compromised. We have sent each of the council individuals a full letter explaining our concerns, along with the results of the surveys that we have done with our neighborhood residents. We are having later in September, on September 20, hold on, let me get the date right, September 25th, a meeting at Emerson Dog Park from 5 to 7 p.m. We encourage you all to attend if you are able to speak with our residents about their concerns regarding this particular proposal. As of now, we are, as I said before, vehemently opposed, and I'm happy to take any questions on behalf of the neighborhood association.
All right, here we go.
Don't have any questions?
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to commend your residents. I have been overwhelmed by the amount of emails that I've received. I know you put encourage people to contact me, and they have, and so kudos to you guys for being strong self-advocates.
And we certainly will have residents here to speak with you and answer your questions at the October 6th meeting as well.
Councilperson Basham, did you sponsored this, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you know who drafted this? Who's?
So Counselor Gullion said, Counselor Basham, you sponsored this, correct? Didn't you? Now, you hear it, but you don't see it. He doesn't just say yes. He flips through a bunch of paperwork, and it's like, yes. Now, let me tell you something that you might not know. We've not really covered it here. I guess I'm going to start covering this. If an ordinance is something that the administration puts through, Basham is the one that signs it. They don't go to Roselvi. They don't go to Green. They don't go to Dishman, or they don't go to Garrett. They go to Basham. Basham is the one that signs the majority of the ordinances that are always dealt with. He's the one that signed the budget. He signs them all. He signs all of them, unless it's something specifically that one of them's working on. So what they do is they call him up there, and he just goes up and he signs them, and that's it, and that's that. Because, as we know, he's ran to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. He's told us that much. That's what he said when he was campaigning. He said those words, not me. I'm not saying those being a smartass. He said, I want to be a voice and a vote for the mayor. I want to help push the mayor's agenda forward. That's my goal. So the mayor gets him, signs off on everything. So he didn't even know. And I think that's a problem. If you are putting ordinances and resolutions forward, you should know what you're putting forward. So he had to look to make sure. He was like, yeah, I did. Let's listen to this.
Behind this, is it?
I came to City Hall and
She's like, well, do you know what's behind this? And he says, I came to City Hall
and signed it.
and signed it.
Drafted it or anything?
No, I don't.
And he just said he doesn't know anything else behind it. No, I don't. I don't know what's behind it. No, I don't know anything behind it. Now, that's what he just said there. That's going to come into question here in a little bit. And I knew the minute that this came into question later, I was like, I knew what he said because I was sitting here. And I am not a senile old nut job or whatever the deal's going on. I have recall and was aware of what he said. Okay? So listen to this. I'm going to go back and let you hear this real quick again.
Councilperson Basham, did you sponsored this, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you know who drafted this? Who's behind this? Is it?
I came to
H
City
or-
Hall and signed it.
Okay. So you don't know who drafted it or anything?
No, I don't.
May I ask if anyone has any information about what motivated this ordinance? Because we're without a clue.
So now the citizen has said, may I ask what motivated this to the council? Now watch what goes on here.
Yes.
I do have a question.
Yes.
Ms. Messner, tell me about the conditions of the alleys currently.
The condition of the alleys are very rough.
Now,
because of the
I hate that happened. I hate that happened because that takes us out of the momentum there. And so it breaks that for a minute. But keep in mind, the entire time this was happening, Ridenauer wasn't getting up and walking toward the podium. He was just still sitting in his seat. Okay.
large number of tenants, particularly along University Avenue and now along North Street as well. We find overflowing trash cans. We find potholes. Having ridden the trash trucks when we do our neighborhood cleanup on a regular basis, the alleys are abhorrent. I can only imagine how much worse they will be if all of that parking is forced into those alleyways. And the other, option is North Street, which we are already challenged with an overflow of parking, because
I'll do you one better than that, Eric. It would be embarrassing to me to be the counselor who pushed an ordinance forward that we're currently discussing and not know what it's about or why I pushed it forward. That is exactly what Basham just said. Without saying it, by the words he said. This ordinance is here because of me, and I don't know why.
so many tenants being moved into houses that were not designed to hold that number of tenants. So we're anticipating that the alley situation will become significantly worse.
One more question.
Yes.
May I follow? So, and then when you guys put your trash out, you put them in the alley. So during trash pickup, you guys can't, you're gonna
Yes, so
obstruct that.
right,
or
because
trucks gonna obstruct
University Avenue is an ambulance run.
Yeah.
We have been asked to place University Avenue trash in the alleyway, so it's not placed on the street.
Yeah.
And so that becomes even more problematic for the trucks to move through because it is a fairly tight alley. Another concern we have is the speed. Right now, we already have problems with speed on University
Yes,
Avenue.
to the point, that's correct.
We anticipate that with the clearing of cars on either side of that avenue, and it's an avenue that we cannot put traffic control measures on because it's an ambulance run. So there's, more stop signs, traffic calming tables. Those things can't happen because of the ambulance run status. So that means we're going to see traffic speeds increasing, and we already have concerns about
Yes,
speeding
ma'am.
on that particular road.
That's correct.
Well, so it sounds like maybe it's not Ball State. If you went to City Hall to sign, may I ask, I think the administration's here, Mayor, do you have any information on where this came from or what's behind this? Would you mind coming up? Okay.
Now, you can't really hear him. She says that, and he says, yeah, I know. And then just kind of sits there for a second. And she's like, would you mind coming up? And he's like, well, I planned on coming up, but she already came up she beat me to the podium. And it's like, well, why not start to walk this way and make it look like you understand what's going on and give us a little bit of reasoning, because we're all just sitting here twiddling our thumbs up our asses and nobody knows what's going on.
I'm happy to yield to the mayor if. Okay.
I did later. Yeah. I'm happy to stand. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to touch it.
Yes.
Thank you. Mayor Dan Ridenauer, this has been, university as a trail has been something that, as a trail and connector to downtown, has been something that's been talked about by the Bike Ped Committee, by other committees, and by Ball State, who is here, and by downtown as a desperate desire to have more of Ball State come to downtown. It's been something that's been talked about for 30 years, maybe more than that. We are in the process of, and we've already milled it out now, we're waiting for the concrete work, the curb work to be done so that we can then pave it. Since we were getting it paved, we looked at the ordinance, and the ordinance says from McKinley to Dix that there is parking on University. There is clearly nowhere to park, and that clearly needs to be handled. That you cannot do it. There's no room. That is a safety vehicle route, and it wouldn't be safe to have parking in there. But the ordinance does say that. So that was one thing that the legal team pointed
to the
out.
point.
And
This
said,
is
"Let's
some
look at
fairy
fixing
tale
that."
he always
And
tells
then the
people.
other part, we had talked, I had not personally, we were doing this through Flatland. We had talked about upgrading Tui Park, and included in that was creating a trail.
Was that before or after you wanted to
Phil
close
Tevis,
Tui?
Flatland did indicate that there was some resistance. No reasons were given to me, and that was okay. Just that there was resistance by the neighborhood. They
Absolutely.
wanted it to be a different route. The route that I am told, this is, again, it's secondhand. What I was told is that it was picked to go from what it would be Dix up to Riverside, and then Riverside
Yes.
over to Wheeling and down, or over to Riverside and one other street and then down. And so it became to where it just wasn't effective. If you are a student or if you're a faculty member of Ball State University, it's probably not going to be where you're going to walk out of that village development, whatever it would be, whether it was a restaurant or something else, and see the sign that says go north 2 or 3 blocks to Riverside.
This
then
is so
take Riverside and
convoluted
then
what they're
come back
talking about
down.
at this point.
University is
This goes on
where
and on
it
and on.
seems
He
to make
babbles on. He talks
two.
about all
So
this shit.
6 are parking.
our neighborhood association supports bike lanes.
Yes.
Our,
She gets back up. She talks about how they're not
I
against
also
very
would like
various
to
aspects,
indicate
but
that
they don't want these
yes,
people live there. They're talking
bike
about their
lanes with
housing where they can
safety
park
nets.
and things, and they don't want to
It
be
is
screwed
our
over anymore.
understanding, however,
I back
that
this
given
lady
the
100%
funding available
in her
and
neighborhood,
or limit was placed on you.
and I like how
The abandoning of
this guy's
parking
in
on
support of
University Avenue.
is supportive of it. All right, now
Thank you.
listen to some of this. This gets interesting.
Hi, council. Cameron Grubbs. There's so much going on here, and to be honest, this ordinance itself may not be that big of a deal, although university, it's high traffic. My problem with what's happened here, what I'm seeing, Mr. Basham, is that, are you telling me that you showed up to sign an ordinance and had 0 questions simply because you were asked to?
No,
You
I'm
didn't
not
even know that
telling
you
you
signed
that.
it, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I am not telling you that.
Mr. Mayor, you talk about transparency.
It's what it sounded like. It sounded like that's what he was telling us. That sure sounded like what he said. 11343.
Councilperson Basham, did you sponsored this, correct?
Yes, I did.
Do you know who drafted this? Who's behind this? Is it?
I came to
Bell's
City
Age or-
Hall and signed it.
You don't know who drafted it or anything?
No, I don't.
Don't
May
know-
I
you
ask
don't
if
know who
anyone
drafted
has
it?
any
No, I
information
don't.
about
They're here for maybe 4 years. I don't care if they're here for 6 months. Well, why does it always have to itself?
With our parts,
It's high traffic. My problem with what's happened here, what I'm seeing, Mr. Basham, is that, are you telling me that you showed up to sign an ordinance and had 0 questions simply because you were asked to?
No,
You
I'm
didn't
not
even know that
telling
you
you
signed
that.
it, so I don't know what you're talking about. Mr.
I am not
Mayor,
telling you that.
Mr. Mayor, you talk about transparency. Why are you showing up to council now with the packets? Nobody's got anything. Like, you're gonna waste their time.
Yeah, something that he said before he got to the podium was that he has a briefcase full of packets of information and pictures about this very thing. Oh, one of the things I fast forwarded through was he says that he went down to do a scientific research himself and see how many people were parking in these areas, and that he just doesn't feel like there's enough people there from the neighborhood parking there, that he thinks that they're students, because he went down there on one day and there were 2 cars there, and he went down there another day, 3 days later, and there were 4 cars, and 4 days later he went down there and there were 3 cars. And I'm like, how long did you stay in the area? What time of day were you down there? Okay, so you went down there on the 5th and there were 3 cars, but what about the time there were 30 cars, on the 4th and 25 cars on the 6th? I'm being facetious, but it's just what he was saying was totally nonsensical.
Time to sit there and show them what's going on now. Why not do that beforehand? Why not have meetings?
Right.
I know
The
that we
bottom
get a lot-
line is, and listen, a lot of people feel all kinds of ways about Cameron, whether you like him, you don't like him. I like what he's saying here. What he's saying here is true. If right now we're literally sitting in the back of the room with all of this crap in his binder, in his briefcase, why? Why was this not given to the council 2 weeks ago? Why was this not talked about a month ago? Why was this not discussed a year ago, 2 years ago, when this was first being discussed in the meetings at Minnetrista? Yeah, Dan's down there at like 11:30 in the afternoon when everybody's at work and everybody is at school. Do first and ask forgiveness later, Dictator Dan. That's absolutely true.
This is how we've always done it. Well, why does it always have to be that way? We can show people things, we can show maps, we obviously didn't talk much to the neighborhood association. And I'm going to call you out, Mr. Mayor, because
you said it was all in the ordinance, but all it says is, whereas it has been determined that it is necessary to update chapter 80 traffic schedules within the Muncie city ordinances, and whereas the city of Muncie desires to update a chapter as it relates to parking on University Avenue. There is zero in there about what you were talking about. And just to, you treat these students as though they're less than, it's, to be honest, reprehensible, because
Jackie says the dates the mayor did this on University Avenue survey were dates when students had not returned from the to campus for classes yet. That is interesting. One of the dates, somebody stood up and looked it up. One of the dates was a Saturday. Yeah, it's why was every council person not informed like Basham? Well, I'll be honest. I don't think that Basham was informed. I don't think Basham knew a damn thing. I think Basham just went up there and he was a he was a signature, and then he didn't know anything about it. I'm telling you, if I'm going to sign my name to something, I'm going to know every single thing about it, or I'm not signing my name to it. Like, that's nuts. I was going to get up and say, well, yeah, after he gets called out, he said he was told after he gets called out. But, and then, yeah, so that's it. So it's either did you not know, or if that's not the truth, if you were told, then why didn't you tell the rest of the council? Why wasn't the rest of the council told? What is the deal? This thing should not have taken this as long as it did. And it ended up being like the biggest issue of the night.
just because they're here for maybe 4 years. I don't care if they're here for 6 months. They have a voice and they should be heard. They should be asked and not just thrown off because they're not going to be here in 4 years. Thank you, council.
Could I say something, Mr. President?
Yes.
Yes.
I knew about
I
it.
came to the city hall and had a conversation with the mayor. I knew he was going to be here tonight, and I knew that he had a presentation to make. And so I knew that he was going to be there, and that's why I spoke as I spoke. But I had the conversation ahead of time before we signed it, and I knew he was gonna be here to explain.
Why didn't you say that then?
Hi. My name is Sarah Vitale, and the remarks that I express are my own and not those of my employer. I'm feeling really concerned too. Mr. Basham.
I want to get up and be like, my name is Kristopher Bilbrey, and my thoughts are not my own. These thoughts are being pumped into me by the person back there in the third seat.
Regardless, if you knew about an ordinance ahead of time, it would have been great to share it with your colleagues so that people would have had time to think about it. But, what's more than that is I really hope none of you are, I want to encourage you not to be bamboozled by the misuse of numbers masquerading as scientific study. A few people walking down a street on a couple different days taking pictures in alleys does not a study make. It's irresponsible to call that research, especially. And I would really hope that Ball State had nothing to do with that study, or if they did, I hope they used a kind of scientific, rigorous method in looking into traffic or looking into all of these issues in that neighborhood. So I think that whatever is in that packet, if the summary we received from the mayor reflects it, it's not rigorous. And so it's
all right. So we're going to go on past her. Ball State guy gets up here. This is the dude from Ball State.
I'm Chris Palladino. I'm the director of real estate.
Chris Palladino. He gets up and he talks. He's from Ball State. And, everything's great. Everything's wonderful. We love everything. Ball State, wonderful. Muncie, wonderful. Several issues.
There's a lot of exciting
There are
things.
several issues raised. There are no issues. We have no issues with anyone raising issues. We want this done, and it's going to get done because we say it, and it doesn't matter what anybody else wants. Everything's great. We love Muncie. Ball State's wonderful. Everything's great. And he doesn't really say much. It is what it is. The fixing. Now, as soon as I saw that, watch this.
So I'm sympathetic to Mr. Lee when he says there have been issues in the past of people wanting to come to the restaurant and having to park on University Avenue. By changing some of the rules that were in place, by adding additional public on-street parking, we think we are making a significant improvement towards that issue in the village. So in summary, I just want to say Ball State wants to be a community partner in this. We look forward to continuing our collaboration with the community on this initiative. Thank you all.
Thank you.
As soon as I saw Todd was here, I was like, uh-oh. Because normally, like the last couple times he's been to meetings, which I think last time he was at a meeting was like 3 years ago, like he was drug out of there. I knew he was gonna be. I always liked Todd.
Pretty slick talker. From Ball State.
He calls the Ball State guy a pretty slick talker. He is down with Ball State. Listen to this shit. This is pretty wild.
My only question is, prior to the Lilly grant, what evidence is there that Ball State has done anything to the city of Muncie?
He's a director. His comments to us.
I mean, I've seen no evidence. I've lived on University for a couple decades. I see absolutely no evidence that Ball State has done anything for downtown Muncie up until this supposed Lilly grant. So what have they done? I mean, all I see is this invisible line around Ball State and then the rest of Muncie outside of it. That's what I see as a resident. You know, I don't see kids coming from Ball State. I see kids going to Ball State.
Okay, Mr. Smeckers, let's keep our comments towards what we're discussing.
That's what we're discussing.
Yeah.
We just heard from Ball State the reason why. Dale Basham introduced us and he knew why. My question is, Nora Powell is our district committee member and she knows nothing about it. She didn't know it was coming. Why didn't she get it and take it to the neighborhood association, who apparently the ball was dropped 2 years ago when Ball State decided to go do something else. Now they've decided they want to come back and eliminate the parking, and everybody's rolling over like they always do because Ball State wants something. And I'm embarrassed that nobody went through the proper channels. I mean, why didn't Nora Powell be told about this along with Dale Basham from the mayor? Why didn't our district committee member be part of this? Why was she excluded? Because she's a Democrat? Is that why the mayor avoided her? I don't know.
Right.
That's a good question.
Okay.
Go ahead and pound the hammer all you want, but it's the truth. That's it. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any other
Good shit.
comments or concerns?
So
Motion has been made and seconded.
now a motion has been made and seconded. Now let's see what goes on here. What kind of games are always playing? What are we doing here?
All in favor signify by saying yes.
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 All right, you're gonna have to do a show of hands.
You might want to have
A show of hands.
Who? What?
Okay.
Why do we not just always do a roll call vote and be done with it?
Let's do a show of hands because this thing. All in favor signify by raising your hand.
What? We have never done this. We have never done by a signifying of showing your hands. What? But let's take, because I was hidden by a podium. So we've got new Republican Jerry Dishman. He's been told what to do, so he raised. Roe raised. New Republican Brandon Garrett raised. Harold Mason raised. Crazy. Why is Harold Mason going to be the next Republican? Basham. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's see. Dishman, Rowe, Brandon, Harold, Basham, and Green. So that's 6 to 1, 2, 3. Okay. So that's 6 to 3. That passed. Totally crazy. Are we sure? Wait, what?
All opposed?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. See, that is so crazy. This is so nuts. That's the reason why what Harold did there was dumb, because whatever. I don't know. These people are nuts.
Okay.
Absolutely. Delaware County Advocate.
And I know it looked like I voted twice.
I know.
I know it looked like I voted twice.
It did.
May I make a comment?
Yes, you may.
Regarding this ordinance, like I mentioned earlier, may I, Mr. President, the one that we just voted on?
He already told you yes. Go, Ro.
I would like to see the neighborhood association and the administration and Ball State University.
I want to see you get together in a room right now and work it out. We've already voted, so it doesn't really matter, but I want to see you do it.
I remember being in those meetings at Minnetrista with Flatland. This discussion's been going on for 2 years.
Yeah, for very too long. For too
so I'm
long.
sure there's a way to solve this.
30 dash.
All right, so the next thing that we were talking about was Ordinance 30-25. 30-25 is the budget, okay? I get up and I ask a couple of questions. They don't make a whole lot of sense right now, but they will in October. Now, this is what I'm very interested in. Because McIntosh corrects me, and I want to hear what he says here.
Kristopher Bilbrey. I was here at I wasn't, I watched I don't know if I was here or not, at the second, no, I was here at the second Finance Committee meeting when you guys talked to the controller, and one of the counselors was not here, Mr. Dishman, but the rest of you were. And I was interested when you guys brought up a couple of positions that last year you guys decided in a vote of 6-3 to unfund. You unfunded 3 positions last year. And at least 2 of those positions came back up and they are now being funded. And you guys didn't make any mention of cutting those. And so I'm assuming, unless something else happens, I know you still have a little bit of work to do. But I mean, are you guys, does anybody know, are you guys looking at keeping those funded through the general fund, or is that something, where are you standing on that? You haven't made any cuts, that correct?
There was one mistake and error, just an additional number in the controller's overtime. But other than that, we still are in the process of receiving information from the department heads, and then we will have about a week to digest that individually and then come together on the 23rd to make recommendations from the committee on reductions. But I want to also say that any member, just because the committee makes or doesn't make, any member of council is able to make a motion to amend any ordinance. So
am I correct in saying that you guys have only so far made 1 reduction? Is that correct?
we've only We've only definitely said, and that was a voluntary
Yeah.
reduction from the controller. But yes, that's correct. As a committee, yes.
Okay.
I don't pretend to know what individual council
Sure,
persons are thinking.
But yeah,
Yeah, real quick, that was 7-2 on that vote. I just want to make sure.
say it again.
7-2 on that vote.
7-2
Yes.
from last year.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
So he's saying that this was 7-2 when they voted to do away with those positions. Yes, it is. Yes, it was. So give me a second here. Okay, so when did they vote last time? Okay, so this is it. So we're gonna jump over here and we're gonna watch this because I
Mason,
Yes.
Thank you.
May I
Second?
111. New total 0. Mr. President, I'd like to make an amendment. I'd like to make a motion to amend ordinance 2324 to include the following reductions. Second.
Okay.
Line item code 101-04-411013, Deputy Controller.
so well listen to what here happens here, Admiral Eric.
New total 0. Line item 101-01-41102, Deputy Mayor. New total 0.
So they zeroed out the deputy mayor position.
101-22-4-11162, Channel 6 Director.
They zeroed out the Channel 60 director, which is the communications director. That's Amber Green. So Richard Ivy and Amber Green's position they zeroed out last year.
0, for a total of $178,273 reduced on the general fund.
What was that total again, sir?
1,078.
And they also, maybe they did it before, they also did the deputy controller. So they did those three positions. Deputy controller zeroed, deputy mayor zeroed, and the communications director zeroed.
$273.
Thank you.
May I ask
Second?
him to
There's been a
Okay.
second, there's been a motion and a second.
I second.
Do we have any comment from council? Do we have any from the audience? Roll call, please.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Basham,
No.
Green,
No.
Mason,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Selby,
No.
Gullion,
Yes.
Powell,
Yeah.
Fishman.
Yes.
That's 6 yes.
No, he's wrong. It's 6 yeses and 3 no's. It was down party lines. It was the 6 Democrats voted to defund them and 3 no's. That's what just happened there. So I will pull this up from the minutes and present that to Mr. Mason, because we all know being right's more important than anything. Let's go on to the next thing.
Mr. President, I would like to make a motion to adopt ordinance 23-24 as amended.
Second.
Been a motion to adopt 23-24, and there's been a second. Any comment from the council? Any from the audience?
And then here what's going to happen is, because they adopted it with those amendments, the Democrats are going to vote in favor of it, and the Republicans are going to vote no.
Call, please.
Mason,
Yes.
Selby,
No.
McIntosh,
Yes.
Green,
No.
Powell,
Yes.
Garrett,
Yes.
Gullion,
Yes.
Basham,
No.
Dishman.
Yes.
6 yes.
So again, 6-3. 6-3. So, you know, I don't go to these meetings, and I don't generally ask questions that I don't know the answers to. I watched these 2 or 3 times last week doing the exact same thing. And so I didn't say anything to him, but I will get him, corrected on this. But the point of the matter is, my question is, why are they now going to vote? Nothing has changed in the city of Muncie. The one thing I can say is we're in a worse spot than we were at this point last year. Right now, we're worse off than we were last year. So why then is this council going to add these figures back to the general fund instead of doing it the way that we've been doing it? That's a question that I have, and they're going to need to answer. And the fact that Jerry Dishman and Brandon Garrett jumped to the Republican side, that's not an answer, and that's completely bullshit. So that's I just wanted to clarify that, and I will clarify that with them. You know, I don't know.
Evening, Council. Cameron Grubbs again.
Now,
I just want to ask, just for transparency.
he asks what the what's going on here, and they give a great big long explanation. We're working on the budget.
Week. And then finally, next city council meeting, we will finally adopt based on
Tax rates proposed 2026.
They
Muncie,
then go
Indiana
over the
transit
MITs,
system.
and they go over MSD. Dan wants those put back into the general fund because he needs his edit money for more unfinished pipe dreams. That's exactly correct. What is going on here?
Okay.
appreciate having you here.
Ordinance
I appreciate
31-25.
Ordinance that,
-25.
ordinance.
Now, this is the big, this is the
32-25,
last
the
big thing that
ordinance
happens.
For appropriations and tax rates of proposed 20.
Laying our focus.
Okay.
We're getting ready to go into resolution 16-25. 16-25. That is a resolution of the city of Muncie, Indiana, relating to the financing of a fire station project and approving a form of taxpayer petition in connection therewith. Here we go.
Resolutions. Resolution number 16-25.
Resolution 16-25, a resolution of the city of Muncie, Indiana, relating to the financing of a fire station project and approving a form of taxpayer petition in connection with therewith. Make a motion.
This resolution is the initial step toward the approval of and financing of a new fire station on Tillotson Avenue to replace Station 5.
Mr. President,
Yes.
in the spirit of finishing our budget and making the resolution, or I would be in favor of delaying our focus from resolution 1625, and I would like to table this resolution.
So it hasn't been introduced yet. You could also withdraw it and refile it next month, whatever you prefer.
I think I prefer to do that.
Okay. Then
Yes.
there's no motion to bring it off the table. Just-
What?
That's perfect.
So much.
So there's nothing.
What?
Okay.
So a couple people had told me that they are feeling the pressure from the shows that we've been doing. They're feeling the pressure from the fire department. The fire department's been taking a bunch of heat because of just craziness that's been going on, and that the administration's not ready for this fight with everything going on with the budget. And so that's why this happened. So we're making progress. This is why we got to keep it up. You got to share the show with everyone you know. You got to help spread the word. If you haven't went in and hit that like button, you need to go smash that like button. You need to be smashing that like button on all of the videos you're watching. If you haven't went already yet and liked the new channel for the Bilbrey Clark Show, you need to do that. We're going to be dropping a first episode in a couple weeks on Saturday, September 27th. So you need to do that. But yeah, there's a lot of big stuff. You need to help spread the word and help get this out to more eyeballs, because we do make a difference. It's like one step forward and a year's worth of steps back. But every so often we do get a win, and we're going to have to fight this at some point. But not fighting it today is better than fighting it today. I'd rather fight it next year or next week or next month than fighting it today. It's a big thing. So, and that's the thing. Ball State needs to pay for updating Station 5, period. Ball State needs to fund Station 5. And that is going to be the charging battle cry moving forward. If they want a Station 5, forward ho. So resolution 1625, Ms. Fisher, was pulled off the table or withdrawn, ... until a later date. Now, they may bring it up next month. They may bring it up in November. They may bring it up in January. Who knows what's going to happen? They may decide not to go this way. They might decide to go with the bot, which we'll have to watch. But as of right now, Station 5 is a non-concern. It's going to be a fight that we're going to fight at some point, but we're not going to fight it now. We didn't fight it tonight, and we probably won't deal with it next month either. So I was happy to hear that. I was very happy to hear that. Basham obviously was the one that put it forward because it was something that the Ridenhour administration wanted. So since he was the one that put it forward and they hadn't been voted on, he just withdrew it.
Okay, moving on, we'll take public comments.
Did we vote?
Did we vote?
We didn't
No,
vote.
you don't have to vote.
Oh, you don't, but I just pulled it off. Never mind. Thank you.
You
Thank
did
you.
it on your own.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll take public comments at this time.
Alan Hornblaw and Catherine Mitchell, Muncie Public Library.
All right. We're gonna fast forward through this. If you're interested in seeing this, this is the library. I will tell you, they do say one very interesting thing here. We're gonna try to listen
With
to.
me is Catherine Mitchell, our Assistant Director.
I'm sorry, I can't.
And our program, which is funded by federal.
So yes, we actually decided to go to our library lawyer and ask them to take
It's affecting that library as a whole. Is it?
All right, I want you to listen to this. This is very important. Kate, you'll find this interesting. Jeff Green asks this library, this is Kennedy Library. Have you ever been to Kennedy Library, Kate? It has Kennedy Library. Let me just show you so we can get kind of an understanding of what we're dealing with here. And then after this, we'll be done, folks. Kennedy Library. This has been a long one. I apologize. The meeting went long, but we'll be done here in just a few seconds. So Kennedy Library. I'm gonna be off. See, come on, let me see it. Okay, so the Muncie Kennedy Library for the last good little while has had this going on. So here's the Kennedy Library, here's the parking lot, and here we see they have solar panels. We see that they have solar panels in their parking lot, okay? And so if we do this, put our little sticker right here, we can see right here, here's Kennedy Library, and here is their solar panels. Okay, and we can see them. Okay, in 2017, or excuse me, 2007. So this is when they were doing the remodel, and it looks like they might have been trying to work on building it then. So, okay, nope, 2013, they weren't there yet. So they weren't there in 2013. So 2015, that's right. That's exactly right. So 2015 is when these things went in. Okay. So 2015. So 15 to 25, it's been 10 years. 10 years. Okay. I want you to listen to what these people say here when asked about this.
A very step forward above the rest of the city right now. I love the solar panels that are in your parking lot, and I would like to know how much cost that offsets for your electric and how that is affecting that library as a whole. Has it brought that down? Was the expense greater than you anticipated? What's your savings?
Unfortunately, it doesn't generate much electricity at all, and so there is very little savings whatsoever.
Unfortunately, it doesn't generate hardly any electricity at all, and therefore it has been almost no savings at all. Okay, that's interesting. That's interesting.
So I could speak to this.
Look at these weird ass faces that Tim Overton's making back here. You don't say.
The solar panels were put in originally. It was meant to be an example to the community of what can be done and what the capabilities are that are out there. And that was years ago that was already available.
Yeah, ding, 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 ding. She's right. I don't know what she's saying here. I don't know what I'm interested to see what to the point's saying here. But I think it's been a great example of what can happen here. Solar can be put in, and it's a joke. It's not doing what they've thought it would do, and it's not doing very good for them. So,
But because there are so many businesses in that area, there's a lot of issues with the wiring and the electrical wiring and stuff in that area. And it does cause some issues with being able to actually draw the power from the solar panels into the building. That has to do with where it's located. So I know it can generate, some of the studies that I saw when they were working on it, because people have asked me a lot about those solar panels, is that like if we had put it over where Centennial Library is, it would have powered most of that library's electricity.
What? So they are expecting me to look at this. This looks like a really nice sunny day, not a cloud in the sky. Look at this. This is such a beautiful, beautiful day in Muncie. Nothing's in the way of these solar panels. Okay? But what I'm hearing this lady say is we have to leave here. Okay? We have to leave here. We're still here. Right here we are. Oh, you guys can't see what I'm saying. Sorry, that was ridiculous. I was having such a wonderful display myself. Hold on. I guess I'll re-show you this. Give me 1 second. So that was totally ridiculous. Where are we at now? I'm totally lost. Okay, right here we go. All right. Here we are. Sorry, let me try. Let's try that again. Well, this isn't the day that looks sunny. Let me find the sunny day. What was a sunny day? 18. Yeah, right here. Look. This looked like it had been a sunny day. This is the west, so the sun's setting. But as you can see here, there's not a cloud in the sky. Looks like it's been a wonderful day, okay? But what this lady is expecting us to believe is we have to pick up from right here. Had these solar panels not been here, and had we simply just moved them over here a little bit, right over here, and instead put them here in this parking lot, that it would have been able to collect so much more sun, and it would have been able to power this library. Now, let me tell you why. Because this library is the size of a shoebox. So it's totally different in size compared to Kennedy. So yeah, that makes sense. They probably would have been able to power that. So what she's saying is totally insane. I don't understand. They just need to stick with the fact that they put these in to show Muncie like what's possible. And boy, did they show us. They showed us what's possible.
Because it didn't have the electrical wiring stuff, but then it wouldn't have been seen as much by people in the community. It was put where it was, so it was a high traffic area, and it would keep it in people's minds that, hey, solar is an option. It's a valid option. So that's kind of why.
As a marketing tool for why we shouldn't do it, I would say. It's not helped them in any way. So yeah, I would say it's definitely
Okay, do you know about what year that was put in? What
Oh my
year was
gosh.
installed?
2015.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, it's
It's been a long time, I know that.
it's been a long time. Was it like, I think it's when they were last, I think it was around the same time they did the Kennedy remodel, but I'm not
10
100%
years.
sure. So maybe like 2008, 2009, something like that. But I'd have to look at the paperwork. I don't really remember off the
And I know they made advances in the collector systems, leaps and bounds from where it was then, where it generates. a lot
Oh,
more
the
electricity. But
sun
I
works
just wondered
differently
if you had
now
the
as
data on
opposed
that.
to in 2015.
We don't, unfortunately, as you mentioned, it's been there for, it has been there for quite some time.
All right, enough of that. So that's the one interesting part that I thought that that was interesting. Let's see what else. What happens here?
Conversations with Councilor Garrett, and I've raised this issue a couple of
Okay.
times.
Charlize
previously, and it
asks
has to do
about
with
the Chevy plant, the old Chevy plant, and Garrett does one of his best things he always does. I talked to the mayor last week. He didn't give me a bunch of information. I'm gonna do some stuff tomorrow. I'll get back to you tomorrow. I'll let you know. And Charlize is like, yeah, I'll just ask you next meeting. And he's like, no, you call me tomorrow. I want to hear from you. I want to call you, and let me know if you get a phone call.
the old Chevy plant and the condition that it's in at the present time.
I have one last at bat, and it's like, listen, they forgot how to pronounce my name.
Always donate. Jim Lee.
Think
Must
he
have
left.
Okay. I'm gonna say the last part of this. I can't read the first part. Billy.
Billy?
Oh, man.
No, it's fun.
I signed it rather than, I don't know why I did that.
That's
Okay.
right.
So I noticed in the last couple of weeks that I have talked to a couple of you, and apparently you guys as a council are still having issues with the email. I don't understand why that would be. One of two things is happening. You're either not responding to emails or you're not getting emails. And if you're not getting them from me, I'm sure you're not getting them from other people. So you probably should be looking into this. This is something that's happened frequently since you guys have been up here. It's ridiculous that you guys would continue having these problems. If you can't get IT to fix it, set up your own email. You've got to do something to be able to communicate with the public. I was talking to one of you guys, and the person I was talking to said, well, I answer everybody. And I said, well, you answer everybody that you're getting the email from. The people that you're not receiving the emails from, you're not responding to. So that's an issue. If you are getting the emails and you're just not responding, that's a bigger problem. So I don't know what the problem is. You're either, there's an issue with IT or you're not doing your job. So both of those need to be fixed, either or. So that's number one. Number two, thank you for polling or tabling or whatever you did with resolution 1625. I think that was a great move to see what goes on here. And I'm very concerned about resolution 1625.
Yeah, that's
we'll see
right.
what goes on with that. So thank you for pulling that, but figure out what's going on with your emails. That's a big problem. So thank you.
All right, that's I think, is that it? I'm not going to cut anybody off. Let's see, is that it?
Lynn Thornburg.
Oh, Nora's mom gets up to sell her house.
I'm Lynn.
She gets up to sell her house.
Because
Until 2026.
Tillotson Construction is blocking her for sale sign, and they have her give her address, and she talks about how it's like a little mid-century whatever, and it's like, all right, whatever.
That's correct. However, the barrels should be moved before then.
Okay.
That is correct.
So they do all that. That's the end of the meeting. Overall, it wasn't a bad meeting as far as, look, we're not fighting the fire department thing now. That's great. Ball State University needs, and listen, if Ball State University wants to connect with the city of Muncie, rather than this bike lane thing, why don't they build our fire station, finance the fire station, and also maybe give us a little bit of extra money for, us to help build another fire station someplace? That would be good. I would be, that would be cool. Oh yeah, to the point. I'm sure it is. I don't know who you are. Do I know who you are? To the point. I don't know if I know who you are or not, but either way, I'm sure. I think I know where the house is. I haven't looked it up, but I think I know where it is, and I figured it would probably be overpriced. That's a Thornburg thing for them. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. It's been a long show. And it's been a long day. I am finally think I've crossed over and I'm doing better. I think Kate might be doing better. Hopefully that's the case. She's shaky, she said. So time will tell. But overall, pretty good meeting. I think it's shows that we're getting things done. We've just got to keep vocal about what's happening, keep the pressure on, and whatever's going on there, we need to keep the full court press on. We will live stream. We will live stream the finance committee meeting tomorrow. There's a finance committee meeting at 6 p.m. tomorrow. There is also a Madison County Council meeting tomorrow. There is also an Anderson Redevelopment Commission meeting tomorrow. And I will be in attendance at the Anderson Redevelopment Commission meeting because I have to show them they are not the ones that are in charge. They're not the boss. And we'll let them see that. I have a little trick up my sleeve for them tomorrow. So it should be a good day. So, all right, you guys take care of yourselves. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. It's almost tomorrow already. So you guys have a good night. God bless each and every one of you. And we will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.